am originally from Eugene, Oregon. I grew up there. I swam my whole life. I did play water polo for a year in high school, but it wasn't my thing. And I went to college at Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon, and I swam all 4 years. I started my coaching career in high school. High school swimming, I coached the West Lynn Lions for a season, and then I moved to Spain. When I got back from Spain, I got my first college coaching job. I was at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. I spent 2 years there, and then I moved back to Oregon and coached for 5 years at Lewis and Clark College as the assistant coach there. I also started a master's swim team program out of Lewis and Clark, and I coached adult people, 18 to, 75, swimming out of the college. I really enjoy working with student athletes, and I really enjoy seeing the progress that is made year to year. I think in swimming, it's easy to be able to see the difference year over year because it's time-based, but beyond the athletic standpoint, I really like watching the growth of our athletes as humans, and we try to teach that in our sport and have swimming be a life skill rather than a athletic skill. I want someone that wants to be here. I want someone that wants to dedicate the time and energy needed to be a good swimmer, but also a good student athlete. I think there's a fine balance between being successful in school and being successful in the pool, and those two things go hand in hand. So if you are committed to your schoolwork and committed to your athletics, then you're going to be able to be successful at Eastern. The balance, again, I think that there is a ton of value being able to pursue your athletic goals, but also your academic goals, and being able to find success in a lot of different areas. Most of our student athletes are going to go on to something different than the sport that they play in their careers, and so having the ability to do that hands-on learning, to get that experience, that's what the D3 model is, and I think that it's the best model. So our student athletes have to wake up pretty early when we're in season. We practice in the morning, but then the rest of the day they get to do the things that they want to do. So their class schedule isn't dictated around an afternoon practice. We get our practices done and they get to choose whatever they want to do with their day. So more often than not, our athletes will decide whether they want to swim or they want to take classes in the morning or in the evenings. They get to kind of play around with what works best for them. And then in the off season, most of our team will swim at the lap swims and lift when they're available. But I think that our practice schedule allows for them to have a little bit more control over what they do on their days and be able to do what they need to do to reach their goals academically. I think teamwork and self-advocacy, I think that those two things are huge in life. I think that when we talk about teamwork, swimming is more of an individual sport, but there are so many pieces to each individual's success that relies on the team, and so being able to pinpoint those things and talk about how valuable being cooperative and working together is, and then being able to advocate for themselves when they need something different. So in the pool, if they want to do a different set, they can do that. They can advocate for what they need on any given day, and that can translate into the workplace, into the classroom, being able to say, this is what I need to be successful. I think that is a huge piece to being successful in life.